Education crisis, transforming our schools with spiritual values, morals and ethics. Teacher has the kingpin. Part 3. Loving greetings to the school management, policymakers, educators and other interested persons who have an interest in transforming education. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts on part 3 of this series of presentation entitled Transforming Our Schools with Spiritual Values, Morals and Ethics. Teacher as the kingpin. In the previous presentations, we discussed the education crisis and some enlightened visions and goals of true education, prompting the need for change. In this part 3, we present the principles and components for the envisaged transformed schooling system. How do we move out of the present crisis in education that we are in? We need a transformed school. For this transformation process, there are some key principles and components we need to imbibe into the schooling system. Let me share these principles and components very briefly. The transformed school should embrace the principles of true education, that is, educare. There should be a spiritual basis. There should be an environment of love. There should be 3 levels of excellence to achieve. That is academic excellence, human excellence, and environmental excellence. Values should be integrated across the various schooling activities and programs. This is absent in the current system. There should be unity of faiths, unity of diversity. There should be respect and tolerance irrespective of all religions, race, color, creed, gender, nations. There should be respect for all forms of creation as all are part of that universal consciousness, that oneness in creation. The fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man should be nurtured in society. Students should be prepared for the purpose of life, as we have all come on earth for a higher purpose. The message of love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never are messages which will ennoble us. Sri Sathya Sai Baba, a world teacher, says teachers should also concern themselves about the essential meaning of life. Teach the students the truths of life. Students should develop self-confidence to navigate life towards becoming good and worthy members of the community. Transformation techniques should be used to draw forth the inherent values lying within each one of us, in the students. There should be awareness of that great special power, potential which lies within. That is consciousness which pervades both within and the entire universe. In realizing their true nature, identity, students will have the will to render loving service to the community, and thereby they will be respected as worthy members of the community, and they will be loved by the members of the community. There should be character and personality development. All aspects of personality, that is the physical, intellectual, emotional, psychic and spiritual, should be developed for an all-rounded being. This contributes to human excellence. Academic excellence is also very, very pivotal in a transformed school. It ought to be nurtured to meet the expectations of the parents and the learners. There should be realistic standards. However, there should be a harmonious relationship between secular education and spiritual education. In the Transform School, there is recognition of the sacred role of the teacher. That is the element of human excellence that we need in our schooling system. The teacher has the responsibility to inspire, to illumine, to raise the level of consciousness of the students and the learners, to gain awareness of the divinity inherent in him and others. Thus, as a suggested starting point, there should be a powerful motivation program for the teachers to tap the innate power to get the schooling of excellence moving ahead. This is human excellence. Environmental excellence is also a pillar of value-based education. It aims, amongst others, at nurturing a conducive environment to teaching and learning. Students are conscious of the environmental and its conservation in the various Go Green projects out there in the community. Brothers and sisters, these are some of the principles and components that are needed, that are essential in contributing to building a national community, a civilization based on love, non-violence, peace and harmony. These components will be unpacked in much more detail as we move on in other presentations. The initiatives and the way forward. A suggested initiative to promote the transformed or ideal school is focusing on the teacher. I am hoping you will also consider sharing your initiatives, your thoughts by emailing me for moving this transformation forward. In conclusion, for long there has been a clarion call for government education policy to embrace moral and value-based education for the blossoming of the youth and children into worthy members and for the survival of humanity. Nation must not again be plunged into darkness as witnessed in COVID-19 pandemic on account of not instituting sound spiritual, moral and value-based education for the spiritual enlightenment of its people. You will agree that the time to transform our schooling, education system cannot be delayed. It has to happen now. Mahatma Gandhi said, I quote, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." Brothers and sisters out there, if you are listening to me, if you are interested in transforming your school, or if you are an interested or concerned individual for the transformation of education, you may submit your response by email to edutransformation9@gmail.com. edu transformation9@gmail.com. Personally, I am offering my selfless and voluntary services to contributing to transforming our schools in some way. And I'm sure you may also want to do likewise in a similar way. May God bless our school and education system. May God bless our children and youth who are the leaders of tomorrow. Our loving appreciation and thanks to our loving teachers out there on the field, and as they are the agents in charge of knowledge and indeed in charge of the education transformation that we all want in our schooling system. We offer this project of love offering at the loving Lord, the Almighty and loving Lord, whom we extol in different names and forms. Thank you, and God bless.